Welcome to Navarero's online update video. We've had the new anniversary version on the test branch for a few days now, and what can I say? The new menus are nice, there's a good bit of quality of life in here, and the game's physics have become less usable than they were before. So, all par for the course with this game, sadly, but let's get into it. So, yeah, one big thing here for quality of life when it comes to loading and unloading is that if we go into the third person view for steering our engines, we can now, or I mean, controlling, we can now also move between the different cars attached to them, making it very easy to line up for the loading platform. Also, we can interact with the cranes through here and also do the unloading. So that's pretty cool. Doesn't require us to go back and forth between the engine and the cars all the time. So that's a really good bit of quality of life and really stuff that people have been missing from Railroads Online Extended. So it's nice to now have that in the base game. And as much as I like people who do stuff like this as a third party tool, it's always in the end better to have it in game so it updates directly with the game and you don't need to install some third party stuff as well in order to make this work. So this is pretty cool. There's also now a separate fly mode which is allowing you to just fly around and now use these tools either on the ground or while flying. So this actually, another good bit of quality of life. Sadly, doesn't extend to some of the buildings that you can place because, I'm now on the ground again, and if I take this water tower, it's just gonna put me right back into fly mode, and I'm going to stay in this until I go back down. So some of it is a bit inconsistent. Also, as you've seen already, the new menus, I think they are pretty cool. They got rid of those little drop-down menus, which were, I mean, they were pretty annoying, let's be real about this. Having to first up click that little thing, then go through the little list of text options, and then hopefully pick the right one. It's now all been replaced with proper preview on the right. We just have to click on the top left here in order to get those other options. And everything now comes with proper previews, so it's not only first up much easier to click on them because the boxes are bigger, you also exactly see what you are going to get here. So this is going to help out quite a bit. A few things were maybe put together which I don't necessarily agree with. We have the different bridge options now all in one, plus also the truss bridges. So some of these are splines, the other ones are just objects with a certain length and everything. But overall, it works pretty well. Water towers, I think I would have maybe kept them apart. There are a lot of options here, and they don't all come with the appropriate preview picture. Also, I wasn't really aware that now for the big tower we have two different options, one with a square roof and one with a roundish roof, just covering the water tank itself. I think it's been here for a few updates, but I haven't really noticed it before. But I think if we click on something like this, we actually... Okay, that's the right one. But I think I've seen somewhere it's not giving us the one that we were actually looking for. Might have been this one down here. Yeah, that's definitely not the one that I clicked on. So some stuff is still a bit weird, but another thing that I would like to point out as a positive, we now have more fitting names here actually for a lot of stuff. I don't remember exactly what it was with some of the other options. I think it was especially down with the buildings here. But now we get proper names on them, and especially like the residential houses. I think those used to just be 01, 02, 03, and 04 or something. And now they got proper names like Stable Building Red, Stable Building Yellow, Undertaker, Blue and Light Blue. sure. And also, especially for the waiting sheds, that's now much easier to get the correct one. I don't like how every time you put something down and open the menu again, maybe you want to build a little town with different buildings. If I go to the saloon, put this down, and open the menu again, I'm back in the rail placement. So it absolutely does not keep in mind what you just placed. Also, still for track building with splines and everything, you don't get to save the grade all the time. Let me just grab a bridge real quick. I think if I take this bridge, go to circle mode, yeah, let's go with 5%. If I place multiple splines, it's just gonna keep that. Also still keeps the color, which is nice. Wasn't the case for the longest time. And if I now go directly back into the building menu, just get maybe the steel trestle bridge, which is really hard to see what it is supposed to be. Yeah, now we get to keep the grade, but if I right click out of the menu and go back in here and yeah, let's go with the steel trestle bridge again, because that's the one that we can build up the highest. It's now back to 0%. So that's not amazing. Let me quickly check if the other bridges still keep the grade as well, because I don't always see that as a given, but yep, that's nice, so we still have that. You know, with how the stuff goes, sometimes a good feature can get lost with an update, so I'm glad that it's not the case here. Anything else of note? I don't think so. Oh yeah, apart from the text sign, we actually not need to click on the top left to open this menu. And you may notice something. We can now not only make it longer in the text field here, which used to weirdly stretch out the whole thing there, but it's now actually also on the sign itself. Doesn't always look nice, but there is a little trick that you can do here. Let me just grab the sign again. We can say blah 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 blah, and then go simply open bracket br, close bracket, and then add a bit more text. Open bracket br, close bracket. Should go for the right symbol. That usually helps. And then confirm, and you will see that we can now do what Minecraft has been able to do for God knows how many years. Suck it, Minecraft, we have it now as well. So yeah, this is definitely going to be helpful in a lot of ways. I've always struggled getting enough stuff on the signs and having the option to just stretch it out more, getting multiple lines in as long as you know the whole bracket thing or line break. That's definitely helpful. And yeah, I think that's all for that menu. They have removed the purchase menu from here. I wish that was still a button on here somewhere, because having to remember a different button in order to open that now doesn't really help things in my opinion. But the good thing here is that this entire menu has been reworked as well. We now have different tabs for locomotives and rolling stock. Huge upgrade. Also don't need to just click through every single thing anymore. We have the scroll bar at the bottom, so that helps a lot. I would still love to get the top speed listed in here, but sadly that's not the case. Still have to rely on my top speed testing for that. And yeah, what's another positive thing here is that on the top right we can now actually see our levels and funds. And if I'm not on a level that has everything unlocked, the ones that I cannot use are also grayed out, so it's much more upfront now with what's actually happening here. So one thing I would still like to see is them actually line this up properly, because right now this looks like this engine might potentially cost me 2.9 million. Also, I don't like how the customize thing is now a separate button which you need to click. I liked it more when it was part of a main menu, because now it's just another whole thing that you need to get into, another button to click. And yeah, I mean, it keeps more of the screen free for actually looking at the engine, but we can now also hide the interface as a whole for just looking around here. So I think it would be alright just having more menus on that beforehand. Okay, I can go back with escape. Yeah. The thing about this, not only is the button really close to order, so gotta be careful not to accidentally click on here. Um, it doesn't really remember anything if you want to buy multiple things. So if I, for example, go to the cars now and I want to get, what did I have before, like a water car? I know that if I've gotten used to that if I click between these two cars right here, I get to the water car directly, so that's actually helping out quite a bit. But yeah, if I want to customize it, maybe change the color, add a number or a text or something, then I'll buy this one. I cannot buy multiple. And if I go back into the menu and yeah, I need to press the new button, then I have to start from scratch again. So while it's maybe a bit faster than before, allowing us to scroll through the things or just remember where to click for the scroll bar to jump to the right place, I would still prefer if the menu options just kept in mind where we were last time. And maybe also keep the customization in here. That would be really useful. But yeah, it doesn't do that, and with the new version, the game also forgets a few other things. Every time we start up a new save, or I mean, we load back into a save, we need to we need to go back in to the menu and tell it that we want a different type of industry difficulty, the physics difficulty, and now also, I mean, that was the same before, but we now also need to say the same for the couplers. It's defaulting to automatic all the time now, and the fuel consumption rate. And with a game that has so many physics issues and constantly screws you over if you're not really careful, having to do that every time you load is not ideal. Another thing they've done, and this is actually pretty nice, they have changed it so that now we can also see the save date and everything. So we can, we get the preview picture, we get the name, we get some in-game info, our level, our funds, and the save date, which is really nice because sometimes you want multiple saves for the same playthrough, and this is now allowing you to do that. So that's all pretty cool. And yeah, it should make it much easier to identify your latest save if you want to go back onto that one. Anything else here? Yeah, the gameplay stuff has been changed. So now gameplay, and I don't think that's a good idea, it should be somewhere on this list as well. Right now it's on the rightmost part of the general options. We can finally once again have custom weather, and I mean dynamic weather here. Change the number in here, and also have custom day-night cycle. I had this on something infinite before. Okay, it jumps back over to 1, thankfully. The problem is, before I think you were able to just type in what you want, and that doesn't work anymore. So if I want a 1 hour long day cycle, I better get to clicking until I have that number. Keeping this button clicked doesn't do anything either. So this is really annoying. I wish we could still just put it in directly, but overall, the good thing is this is all back to what it was when this got introduced about a year ago. remembering it got removed like in the November or December update. I hope it's not gonna happen again, otherwise enjoy it while it lasts, because they have been very against the idea of putting this in a usable way. Also, dynamic weather finally works again at all, because that hasn't been the case for a while. But yeah, this is good stuff. Now let's talk about the bugs that I've been mentioning, and for that, I mean, we have a new car here, we might as well use it. So I'm going to remove the brake, and I'm going to take take an engine and just ram into it. So let's just disconnect this here. I really only want the front engine. Let's see, no brakes. So let's pull the regulator and just run over the car. So what we've done here, and I hope the bridge isn't going to get in the way, they changed how fidgets are getting put to sleep on cars. Yeah. I mean, this worked a bit better than I expected to. But the thing that's really happening right now is cars are getting put to sleep so hard, and that means fidgets are being deactivated on them if they stand around. Trying to wake them up again, make physics apply to them again, comes with a delay, and yeah, you need to bump into them, and at that point they are still going to behave like a solid object, as if you have a massive boulder on your track, and only then are they going to become reacting or reactive to anything that's happening around them. So it's just not working too well. Also, they changed something about the large gondolas. Let me just quickly go over to them. They're pretty much done in this area here. So the larger gondolas that can also transport gold ore, these ones right here. For the longest time, they had an issue where the couplers weren't really working completely as they should. If you had like multiple of them behind each other, they would the couplers would just kinda go through each other, so the hitbox was messed up. This got corrected, and this means that if you go into your world now and you had one of these connected as a train before, the entire thing is likely going to be exploded by now. It sucks, it is annoying, but honestly it's kinda what needed to be done. So as long as it fixed something, which it did, I think that's a necessary evil in this point. Another thing that got changed, and this seems to be another little mess up over here. Let me just grab this car right here. Bulkhead flat car, and we are going to go over to one of my logging camps over here. Oh, there's actually one already that has some of these cars parked here. So let's go over and let's actually unload. It tells me to use the left mouse button, but I don't think that's how it works. I just press enter instead. So good job on the whole mouse prompt there. And from what I've seen on social media, if we try to load this now, things might not go as expected. Yep. Cool. Nice and perfectly playable. So yeah, I mean, it's on the testing branch right now, so some leeway is to be given, but Jesus Christ, what the wait. That whole thing got loaded before it actually got over there? What's happening here? Okay, this is now doing this stuff again, and they definitely don't land on the car. I mean, you could likely build a wall here to restrict that thing from flying off, but yeah, the load got added last time before the crane was fully there, so I don't really know. Maybe if I go further away, it's just gonna do that automatically. Gonna have to watch it, make sure it doesn't notice me. Nope. I don't know how it got those free on there, but yeah. So yeah, that's all pretty screwed up right now. Likely applies to a lot of other cargo as well. Okay, now it loaded some. I mean, with these, it's not that much of a big deal because this is the first part of the supply chain. These all come free. We don't need to do anything with them, but okay, that worked out now. Seemed like it disconnected from the crane before its time, and I heard somebody having similar issues with oil barrels, and that's definitely far more of a problem. So yeah, what can I say? At the end of the day, um, nice additions, but also a few things that kind of make the whole thing unplayable right now. So more path of a course right now. So I don't know. How can they keep messing this stuff up? I don't know. I also have the whole list thing, which I wanted to talk about, but I think I'll make that a separate video. This thing has been going on for long enough. With the new menus and quality of life stuff, there are a few points that I can actually take off that list. And chief among them, which I almost forgot, we now finally have text chat. So we can actually type stuff in here, and I'm going to try something. We have 3 quote-unquote words right here. And it's going to cut them off and give me ... in there. So the thing is, it doesn't do any line break based on the words. The last thing that I typed in there should have been a separate line, but it just cuts them off and wherever, which is really not a good idea. Pretty amateurish, and also it's a bit weird how the entire thing interacts. I mean, who the hell puts the text chat on the right control button by default? What's wrong with you? Stop that. But yeah, I think this have been the major additions and all of that. Another last thing I want to show you guys, and I think I have to keep this brief. Brace yourself because they added a grain effect to the main menu, and I think I need to give you guys a proper warning before we get in there. I have never seen anything that would make me nauseous that quickly. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but Jesus Christ, I cannot look at this. I need to get out of here immediately again. Also nice how they stretched out the pictures, like Railroads is definitely going widescreen over there. But yeah, I think that's gonna be enough for me for this. I mean, I could show you guys how messed up stuff is for me right now. And yes, this is the whole thing that you have to readjust every time you load into something. I usually go with realistic and then medium. I like medium fuel consumption. Would usually go with high, but that really screws over some engines like the Cliff House and Ferries, and also the Ruby Basin. Automatic couplers I like to keep off, but yeah, on is the new default for some reason. So let's quickly see about this. Might need to load for a moment. It's actually my main playthrough thing with like 500 cars and all of that. So a bit of loading time is to be expected, and due to all the derailments that I have in here now, thanks to the change with the large gondola cars, it might be a bit laggy at the beginning. But from what I've noticed so far, performance seems to once again be improved. But yeah, it might be a little bit choppy when we start in here. Because if we go up to the gold mine, this is what we'll find here. that was a fun thing to come back to. Also, once again, they seem to have some issues with engines and the little movable things here. I don't even have a climax up here anymore. So let me check down here. There should be some engines somewhere. So somebody took out the front doors. They used to be in here. We used to be able to open them, and they also glued my windows shut. These used to be sliding windows, but right now I cannot interact with them at all anymore. And from what I've heard, there are multiple other engines with similar issues. I think the Ruby Basin might have something just like this, and it's not too far away, so let's quickly check that out as well. Just over the mountain back right here. So let's see how they did my boys dirty. So yeah, that's a window missing. I heard something about the doors being missing as well, but apparently it's only the windows right now. Unless it's with another paint scheme, and I can't be bothered checking all of those out right now. I don't know if I even have one for every paint scheme, but hey, we can take a look at the one that should be in the main yard right now. So, yeah, well, does this leave me in the end? It's just kinda... There's a few good things in here, but they really need to take care of fixing the bugs, because once again, I think the current version of this game is borderline unplayable now. Ah, there it is. Okay, seems to be only the windows. And yeah, likely also a few other engines having issues, because that's kind of how that goes. Ah, the sliding window on this one is actually still here, which is nice. But yeah, I can't check every single engine now. That's too much. That would be way too long. But you get the point. There are a few things that are messed up again. So with that out of the way, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the whole thing. I'm pretty mixed on this. The new UI stuff is pretty nice and should get some of the points off the list removed. But in the end, there are the physics stuff that makes the whole thing less playable now is definitely weighting, or it's weighing in a little bit higher. And with that out of the way, thanks for watching. See you guys next time, and till then, bye bye.